sometimes little girls as small as 5 years, 10 years, 8 years, they get raped and all that, and you can imagine the trauma that comes with all this when they are there. Anyway, I'll take a sip from my glass here, and then we'll go over to Lagos and talk with Oluwaseun, and then we'll come back, we'll still do more on Shagalinku. So if you don't mind, have a toast to me.
Oluwaseun providing practical suggestions on how to cover it and also providing support services to those who have been sexually abused in Nigeria. Most of those who rape, who were boys, were actually abused at a young age. I'll give you an example. I met a young man who heard me on radio and called in after because I gave my number out, and he said, I have something to talk to you about. And I said, go ahead. He said, based on your explanation of rape, I think I've been raping my girlfriends. And I said, what do you mean? He said, as a very young boy, they had a house help. And the house help were always asking for violent sex. At a very tender age, he was introduced into sex, but a very violent one. And so he grew up with that mentality of what, that was his reality of what sex was. So when he got matured and got into relationships, he started having violent sex with people. In his own assumption, when a woman says no, it means she wants it or she wants more of it. So that's what he was used to. But then he realized that, oh my goodness, he had been raping people. So yeah, most of these people are actually boys who have been abused and have no idea of what rape is, and just go on to actualize what they are used to or they were used to in time past. So we need to ensure that more men are driving the conversation about rape of boys as well as rape of girls. We can't have just women driving this conversation. And I'm also aware of the Young Men's Network Against Gender-Based Violence, the body which is driving awareness on the rape of boys as well as girls. So we need to understand that it is existent. We cannot deny it, we cannot hide it anymore. Boys do get raped, girls do get raped as well. Let's have a very holistic approach to addressing both. When it comes to believing survivors of sexual violence, because we call them survivors, because we help them from being victims to survivors. And one thing we have realized is the court or the law court says innocent until proven guilty. When it comes to someone who reports rape, automatically she's assumed as guilty. There is no chance to see her as innocent. And this is a very, very big problem, because the more you shut down a survivor, and a survivor tells another person who might likely be a survivor, the more people will keep quiet about the menace. So we believe that survivors should be believed until proven guilty. That is if they are actually guilty. Let's believe the survivors. Why should we believe someone who says I didn't do it as against a person who says it happened to me? I usually use a scenario to people. When my phone gets stolen today, you would tell me sorry your phone got stolen. You wouldn't, even if I kept it carelessly, you might say, why did you keep it carelessly? But you still feel my pain and tell me sorry your phone got stolen, sorry about that. But when it comes to rape, we don't assume that someone has stolen something from them. We don't see them as the victim who has been violated. We begin to ask them questions that shouldn't be so. And the more we ask those questions, the more we tell survivors in their head that you deserved what happened to you. You deserved it. You caused it, so you deserved it. And there's so many cases where children get raped. Are we going to bring up excuses? Then you hear the story of, well, let the survivor let it go. God will judge. God is a person of authority and a person who respects the law and justice. So we should allow the law take its course, as against disbelieving survivors from the first step. Let's support more survivors to speak up. Perhaps that would create a change. If we have over 1 million women say, I have been raped, that would cause a global, if not a national outrage to say, our women are getting abused on a daily basis. it is unacceptable. So we need to change the culture of silence. As parents, as even bystanders, you see something, you say something. As a society, we need to shun sexual violence because your inaction or your reaction is somewhat contributing to the culture of rape, which we seek to end at all costs.
In the crowd, I hope it still remains the same.